It's officially December 30th. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. There's only 2 nights left of this year. We're gonna go pack some orders. 7 p.m. I did work all day already, but we're gonna go do some more. We only have a few orders to pack, but I'm going to film the orders so we can watch the last orders be packed of 2024. But first we have some mail we're gonna unbox real quick and see what I got. First up is this giant box of our 505 adhesive spray. This just arrived. I only buy this when I watch the price of the 6-packs. Every day I will check the price. And a lot of the times they're $90 to $100 for 6. And if I catch it for 70 bucks, it's only for like a small amount of time. I grab a bunch of them at once. So, and these are gonna go over there. Now I have a few more packages to open. Let's see what else I got. Oh, yummy. I got some hydration and energy variety pack. It's called Hydromate. It's an energy booster and a hydrating like little drink mix. My Amazon haul, I ordered this new book. I so freaking excited to read this. This is Black Elk Speaks by John, the complete edition by John Neihardt, historical Western. So, new book. Then I got Frederick Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil. This is one of his best pieces of work, so I'm excited to read that. Got some underwear for my husband. Oh, that is the rest of my husband's Christmas gift. There's some bowls, and then this is also the rest of his Christmas gift. Some shirts. No, they're smalls because they didn't have extra small, but actually those are pretty small. These are Bailey made jeans. It's the only jeans that are long enough and fit me right. So I got another pair of those. And these have a 38-inch inseam for the first time. She came out with a 38. Let's see these. Did my costume? No, that was it. So here are the jeans. So cute. And a 38. Oh yeah, baby, look how long those are. Those are so long. I am so tall. I am 5'10", and these are literally going to drag. And I only wear Western cowgirl boots, and so I have to have some boots or jeans that'll grow over my boots and not look too short. And so I got that pair, and then I got a lighter pair. I will put a link to her shop in the description. Okay. Still can't get the angle. Super long jeans. Nothing better than jeans that are long enough. Okay, so that's my mail haul. Now let's go check out the orders that we need to pack. So I was gonna go live on TikTok to pack the last of these orders, but I'm really struggling with it. TikTok just rubs me the wrong way. I'm struggling with, they let me down all the time. They constantly violate my videos. They constantly shadow ban me. They constantly just makes more of a letdown than it does a success for me right now. This is officially December 30th orders. Mainly our last orders of 2024 that I'm packing to ship. Until I put out a sale tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's see. So this order is for Alexandria. She got liners. Let's see the liners that she got. She got a coral floral stay dry. This is all small liners. Dragonfly Dreams Supplex. It's a fruit Supplex. And Penis Flytrap Supplex. Here are all of her liners. They're so cute. This one says, feed me and tell me I'm pretty with the Venus flytrap. These are all 6-inch liners. It's a fruit liner, Dragonfly Dreams liner, and the coral floral. Bought 4 liners. She got a discount on that 4th one, which brought her total discount almost $5 off. So every 4th liner you get a discount on the total. everybody gets a free scrunchie. Everybody gets a free sticker. And everybody gets a booklet that has their name on it with all the information that they need. Alexandria. Go. Drink some water. Okay, let's see. Amanda. Where's that putting these? Amanda got super cotton pads in the plum color. You get a set of 2 in the super cottons. They are full Zorb wingtip to wingtip, and then they are topped with cotton. I tried really hard this year to create YouTube videos and post the long form videos on YouTube. And I bought the camera, I had the ideas, I had the plan, and I just couldn't pack it. I couldn't figure out how to find the time, and then I wouldn't remember to film. So many days I just completely forget to get the camera out and film anything. And then it was just easier to create short form content and post it right off the bat. And then I always felt completely overwhelmed to edit long form videos. But I recently got so good at editing videos, long vlog style videos on TikTok on my personal account. My personal account, by the way, on TikTok is Michaela Kane. And it did really well. And I just don't know what's gonna happen to TikTok. I'm like, why should I invest in my time and effort into this? I probably will still make a few more vlogs, but we'll just have to see. For Ashley, she got the Coral Floral Double Zorb Stay Dry. She got the Fall Football Stay Dry. This is all extra large, by the way. Then she got Hogwarts Houses extra large on Supplex. And then she got It's a Fruit extra large single Zorb and Toodaloo. This one says Toodaloo CUNT on Minky extra large. So she got a total of 5 pads. Looks so awesome. Okay. I'm gonna pack these up. Scrunchie. Ashley. all of our mail in these big USPS mailing bags. Next up, who do we have? This order is for, I think it's for Leonore. I think that's how you say it. So she got our hunting season pad. These are on Minky. The Minky hunting season. It's camo with little animals and the deer antlers. She got an extra small, 2 extra smalls and 2 smalls. And it says bucks, trucks, and 8-point, or sorry, it says ducks, trucks, and 8-point bucks. With the birds and the deer. It's so cute. And then she got the plum super pads as well in the cotton. Leonore. In our mail bag here. Highland Cows 2XL. Hunting Season 2XL on Minky. This way so lighting is better, and then we can flip it again. This is Mary's order. She got our 2XL pads, which are 15 inches. Her first pad is our Southwestern Aztec print. This one is on Stay Dry. Absolutely stunning. Her second pad is our Highland Cows. This one is on Supplex. And her third pad is on Minky. This is our hunting print. You've got camo. It says ducks, trucks, and 8-point bucks. And you've got the antlers. It's so freaking cute. So adorable. These are Mary's 3 pads. Wrap them up and seal them with fabric details and instructions to wash her pads upon receipt before the first use. She's going to get a free sticker. This year, SoCo Studio hit 30,000 orders, which is kind of surreal because back in 2011, I started this business in a small corner of my living room. When I first started this business, I was actually pregnant with my 3rd kid, and I wanted to cloth diaper my daughter when she was born. And even though I had never sewn a stitch a day in my life, for some reason I thought I could just make all of her diapers myself. So I asked my grandma if I could borrow her sewing machine because I wanted to play around with it, and she brought it over. So she brought it over, and I was just super intimidated by it. It looked scary. There was no way I was going to be able to use it because it just looked like a giant monster and it just sat in the living room for several months. One day, my husband said, "Get over here and let me show you how to use this sewing machine," because apparently he knows how to use a sewing machine. I was really surprised because I had no idea that my husband knew how to use a sewing machine. So he takes me over to the sewing machine and tells me how to turn it on, how to thread the needle, and how to thread the bobbin. And then slowly but surely, he taught me how to make my very first straight stitches. Something inside of me clicked and tingled and sparkled and got real warm and fuzzy whenever I pulled my first piece of fabric out from underneath that machine and there were stitches and I had made an actual seam for the first time ever. From that moment forward, I was gathering old towels, old sheets, pillowcases, scraps, t-shirts, anything that I could find that I could use on my grandma's old sewing machine to practice making stitches on, and I did that for weeks. Once I felt like my stitches were doing pretty well, like I could probably sew a square at that point, I decided to get on Pinterest and find a free pattern for a reusable diaper. Pinterest is full of free sewing patterns, especially pads and diapers. So I found a diaper pattern that I could just simply download and print out, and one that looked pretty simple enough for me to follow the instructions. The only thing I had left to do was to figure out the fabrics that I was going to use because I didn't actually have fabric in my hands. I had to go find some old towels and basically cut up some old sheets and t-shirts just to use so that I could potentially make this diaper pattern. There were some instructions that came with this pattern and I really did my best to just wing it at that point. Keep in mind, I had pregnancy brain and all I really wanted to do so badly was to make a diaper for the first time and see it come to life. I truly wish I had a photo of that first diaper I made because I did put it together and it looked like a dinosaur had ripped up someone's bushes and called it a diaper. But it still didn't matter because I made it and I made it myself and I cut out the fabrics myself. I did all the stitches myself and I got one of my other kids, my toddler at the time, and I wrapped it around her and I made it fit and work like a diaper, even though it couldn't stay on her or stay together because there was no snaps, no closures, no way to actually keep it on her. But hey, I wrapped it around her and it looked like it might work. Once I popped out that first diaper out of that pattern, I remade it 100 times. I eventually ended up going to a fabric store like Walmart or Joann's and I picked up some actual fabric so I could have more to work with and cut out and actually make some diapers that looked cute. I also invested in a little handheld snap press with some snaps so I could at least try to get the diaper to close up together around my babies. And I also bought elastic for the first time. I think I bought like 6 feet of elastic at the fabric store in a little package. And I started adding elastic to the leg area and figuring out how to insert that so it could stretch and fit correctly. By the time my baby was due, I had finally mastered a decent looking diaper and I started to take pictures of it and share it with my friends on Facebook and in my other mom groups who were also having babies at the same time I was. On the Baby Center app, I was sharing pictures and it turned out several people started saying, "Hey, I would like to try one. Could you send me one? I'll pay you for it." And I was elated. I was like, there's no way they look that good. Like, there's no way someone else actually wants one of these. But I said, sure, I'll just send you one. And I sent out many of them for free. I wouldn't accept payment. I just wanted to get them out there so that other moms could give me their advice, their feedback, and I could make them a little better. I sent out several diapers to several other moms over the next year. And I got tons of feedback and I was practicing more and more, buying more different fabrics, trying other patterns, and eventually invested in a newer sewing machine as well as a serger so I could make some inserts and some absorbent layers for the inside of the diapers. Eventually, a lot of the other moms were saying, hey, you need to make a Facebook page so we can all follow along what you're doing. We really like the diapers that you're making and we want something to follow you on. So I made my Facebook business page, which is SoCo Studio today. And that's what it is. And I think that's part of why I have 160,000 followers on that page. Eventually, I designed my own pattern. I hand drew it on a piece of poster board and I practiced it several times, came up with a really good looking diaper. And I thought, at this point, I've invested so much time and so much money, and a lot of people are interested in my diapers. So I'll just set up like a little website on this platform called Hyena Cart, which was what a lot of the other moms who were making diapers were using at the time to sell their diapers on. And at that point, there was a huge cloth diaper boom. This was circa 2013 through 15, or sorry, that 2011 through 2015. There were just so many cloth diaper makers at the time. And I happened to make it to the top of the totem pole of the really good diaper makers. And I started to put my diapers for sale. And eventually I noticed that they were just selling out completely. Every time I would put new diapers up, they would sell so fast. There would be over 100 people on my website at the time, and they would all sell out within just minutes. The first time I had an actual sale, I had no idea how to ship my products that I had just made. I didn't have any mailers. I didn't have a scale. I didn't know what I was going to do to ship these packages. I was scrambling. I thought, why did I do this? I had no plan to actually get these orders to people. I knew how to set up my website. I got that done. But then I had to actually ship out all of these packages. I had like 30 diapers to ship out. And I was on the USPS website. I was looking for stuff to mail my orders in and figuring out how much they weigh. I was scrambling. It was a mess. My husband jumped in and he was trying to help me. He was like, how are you gonna do this? I didn't know. I was freaking out. I had all of these people standing around waiting on their orders to be shipped, and I just kind of freaked out, and it just kind of sat there for a few days. And then my husband showed up and surprised me. The next couple of days, he showed up and surprised me with a brand new computer. And he had it set up on my little desk area that I had made in the living room. Size large liner is the same length as the size small pad. The liner does not have the sewn in zorb. It is just for daily use. It is not going to absorb. The pad has the sewn in zorb. It's going to absorb 4 menstrual cups of fluid. Please don't mistake these two products. I made so many mistakes and had so much still to learn, and I probably shouldn't have sold that first batch of diapers just yet. Not only did I not know how to package and ship them, they also weren't completely ready. Like, I didn't have any logos or labels to put on them. I didn't have all of the diapers completely snapped and ready to just ship. I still had to add snaps to them. Some of the fabric that I was using was the wrong kind of fabric. I made so many mistakes. But if I wasn't forcing myself to have that first sale and figure out how I was going to package and ship my first orders, I probably wouldn't have done so much better on the second time around of my next sale. I had everything more together. I was more prepared, and I had more figured out at that point. So I kept doing this cycle. I would create more diapers, sell more diapers, and package and ship more diapers, learn along the way, make more mistakes along the way. And I did that for 6 months before my store started going viral. And at some point, I was making so many sales that I couldn't keep up with it on my own. I was knees deep in orders, in fabric, in sewing, in packaging and shipping, setting up more tables and computers and sewing machines. And this had taken over half of our house that we were living in with the better part of our living quarters where we all were living after I had my third baby. I was breastfeeding, I was cloth diapering my third baby and my second baby, and I was baby wearing while I was sewing cloth diapers and creating an online store. The type of diaper that I was making was called a fitted, Fitted. This was a more natural cloth diaper that just wrapped around your baby just right. It had a bamboo insert that laid against your baby's skin. It snaps in and snaps out. That's the type of diaper that I mostly liked to put on my babies and that I liked to make. So the name of my business became Southern Comfort, with a play on words for comfort down south, meaning like below the belly, but also in Texas, Southern Texas. So Southern Comfort, and Fitteds was the next part of the business. It was Southern Comfort Fitteds. My business Facebook page kept growing and growing, and this was before Facebook had groups, before Facebook was really as big as it is now. So I kept getting more and more followers on my Facebook page, and they eventually gave me the nickname SoCo for short. When I say they, I mean my 200 followers that I had on my business page. Eventually, I grew out of that bedroom that I moved into, and my husband decided that he wanted to renovate the garage and move me in there. We had a 3-car garage. He really only needed one part of it. So the 1-car part of the garage he took, and he took the 2-car part, gutted it out, completely remodeled the whole thing, put walls up, painted it, painted the cement floors. It was amazing. It was a huge space. It was around 800 square feet. And for me, that was gigantic. I was so excited to move myself in there. I had all my sewing machines. I couldn't wait to get a big cutting table so I could actually roll my fabric out, because when we were in the house cutting fabric, we would literally take the fabric and roll it on the floor all the way from hallway to hallway to cut out pieces of the diapers, the patterns that go to it. And we would hand cut with scissors every single piece, which my husband would stay up super late with the scissors, cutting out diaper pattern pieces with this rolled out piece of fabric across our house. So we decided to invest in some tables from Home Depot to create our very first cutting table in the new space that my husband made me. We were so excited. I got to actually buy a giant cutting mat. I even got to finally buy rotary cutters so that we could actually cut fabric on a standing level and on a cutting mat without having to use scissors. So therefore, we became more efficient. We started cutting more pieces of diapers so we could make more diapers. And eventually, I was able to put up 30 to 50 diapers at a time, and they would all sell out, and I would use that money that we made to reinvest back into the business. And eventually, I decided it was time to open up my own website and step away from a carrier website. Once my business made enough money, I decided that I really wanted to invest in a better serger to make the inserts to the diapers. We were using a Brother 1034D, which is just a home serger, really great sewing machine, but it was running ragged and really wasn't able to keep up with the volume. So I took some money and invested in my very first industrial Juki machine, and we got a really great serger. It was delivered on an 18-wheeler on a pallet. It was a super cool moment for me that I was able to take money like that and actually buy a really nice, expensive machine that would last a lifetime. And I still have that machine today. At that time, Facebook had introduced groups, so I eventually caught on to that and created a Facebook group for my business page. I want to say it was circa 2013, 2014 that I opened up the SoCo Studio BST, which stands for Buy, Sell, Trade, and Chat Group. I opened up my own website and started having regular stockings of brand new diapers every couple of weeks. All of my diapers came in really cute designs, prints, and fabrics, but eventually my customers were chiming in and were wanting these really customized, really hand-drawn prints that were being designed by fabric designers, and all of these custom fabric groups started popping up on Facebook. So during the big diaper era and the big stay-at-home mom clothing business era, all of these custom fabric designers started popping up to supply the fabrics for all of these businesses that were needing the fabrics to create their projects for their businesses. If you're around during that time, you probably heard of the name Twinkie Tush or Bebe diapers or Ragababe, or as far as fabric, you probably heard of backstitch fabrics, a lot of things like that. At one point, the Twinkie Tush diaper brand was the biggest cloth diaper small business that was in high demand. They had a huge following, huge fan base, and they eventually had a team where they were making tons of diapers every week and selling out. And at some point, I am almost certain that SoCo Studio Fitteds became the second in line to Twinkie Tush diapers. So here I was, circa 2017. I am pumping out diapers left and right. I have a few people helping me here and there. My husband jumps in to help sometimes. And then I start making clothing. I'm starting to make baby clothes that match the diapers. The moms are wanting t-shirts that match the diapers. The moms are wanting pants and trainers that match the diapers. So I'm making tons of baby clothing out of all of these custom fabrics that are being mailed to me to cut up and to make into beautiful clothing and matching diapers. And you can go to my Facebook group today and still see the pictures in the SoCo Studio Buy Sell Trade group, as well as our new group that I created just around 2019. Maybe it was 2018. I created the SoCo Studio VIP group, which now has almost 10,000 followers. Sorry, not followers, but members. So the VIP group I created towards the end of the diaper era, where I kind of started to get burned out making diapers, I started to make myself some reusable pads. I had had a fourth baby at this point in 2013. And I had been breastfeeding, and I eventually got my period back, and I knew that I could make myself some reusable pads because I was a boss at making diapers, so there was no reason I couldn't just make some pads for myself. Once I got my period back, I was like, hey, I think I'm just going to use cloth pads for my period now, since I'm still cloth diapering my fourth baby. I ended up showing my VIP group some of the cloth pads that I had made, and they all were intrigued. This is a group of moms, if you will. So all of these mothers have babies that they are buying cloth diapers for, and they see the photos that I've made of reusable pads. They want in on it. They're like, hey, we want some of those too. So I was like, okay, that's no big deal. I can throw together a batch of cloth pads and throw them up at the next diaper stocking. And I did. I made like 15 cloth pads, not very many. I didn't think they'd really sell out. I threw them up at the store and they were gone within just a few minutes. So here it is, almost 2020, and I've made several batches of cloth pads, putting them on the website. They're selling out. I'm making a few more. I'm using some of these custom fabrics that even match their baby's diapers. So at this point, the moms are getting matching pads with their baby's diapers. So when COVID hit in 2020, all of the kids were downloading TikTok, and my kids were like, Mom, you've got to download TikTok too. You're going to love it. It's so much fun. I didn't believe them. I was like, that's crazy. So I just let my kids play on TikTok. This is back when it first came out, and it was just dances. It wasn't as crazy as it is today. But I eventually downloaded TikTok several months after the fact and realized that I could just create my own account and post my own videos. I had already been in business 9 years, and I had been using social media organically to build my business already. So I already had a knack for how to use social media for my business. I already kind of felt confident enough to make posts and talk about what I do and film things. I had been struggling for a while posting on my Instagram stories, but I started getting better at that, posting video of myself daily and just being more interactive on a video scale with my customers, with my audience. Being interactive, video quality wise, is a huge mechanism in connecting with your customers. It's probably the best anchor that you can provide for them to become loyal to you and to want to get to learn you and know you better, because they're watching you. You're talking to them like you're on FaceTime. And that is a lot of what TikTok allowed me to do. One thing I've learned in business over time is that your customers are not buying your product because of your product. They are buying your product because of you, because they like you. And the more that they get to know you, the more that they actually trust your product, trust you, and want to finally give up some of their hard-earned money to you because they have built that trust up to make that purchase from you. TikTok allowed me to be creative and to open up to a new audience to build more trust with. And at some point, as I'm posting about SoCo Studio, about cloth diapers, some cloth pads, I got my very first viral video. And before I knew it, I had over 100,000 followers on my TikTok account. And at that time, the TikTok algorithm was pushing those stay-at-home moms, small businesses, or work from home businesses, because it was 2020, it was COVID. The algorithm was more geared towards or directed towards that type of content, because that's what everyone at the time was interested. How can I make money from home? So the algorithm was pushing videos on making money from your own work at home or your own small business. So I naturally blew up very quickly as a stay-at-home mom who had a small business, and I made money from home. So I made video after video, being as creative as I can, using different sounds, trying to film myself working and sewing and talking about my products. And I had one viral video after the other. And over time, I eventually grew to almost 500,000 followers. The more followers that I gained on TikTok, the more customers that came over to Facebook and joined my VIP group, that followed me on YouTube or Instagram. The more I became more well known on that app, the bigger my business grew. So I eventually opened up a Shopify account and created a brand new, fully functioning website with Shopify, where I was able to even collect my list of customers through their phone number, and eventually created a list of over 7,000, almost 8,000 customers that I can send a text message out to now, that when we have a new drop, they get notified. So now my customers are naturally just there waiting for me to tell them, hey, there's new pads on the website. And because of the way I integrated my social media organically in with my website and collecting their names, collecting their data as far as when it comes to just their phone number, what they allowed to give me, it created my business on a bigger scale. It was this pivotal point that my business took a turn and started making enough money to support my entire family alone. However, that has a caveat. I wasn't able to sustain this type of business with just my two hands. Obviously, for me to be able to stick with this type of flow of orders, I have to have help. I needed extra hands. I needed to hire people. My husband joined the team. He and I worked together. We started hiring our first employees. Eventually, I moved out of that garage and into another studio that was the entire upstairs of our new house that we built. So the studio took over almost 2,000 square feet in the second story of our new house. I eventually hired on some extra hands and help, and I started adding more and new different products to my store. I remember sitting there at my sewing machine as I sew every single product by myself, realizing that I had just hit my very first 6 figures ever. When I first realized I had hit 6 figures, I started bawling. I was sobbing. I couldn't believe that I had ever made it to that point. I had never made that much money in my entire life, much less was I making 6 figures. On top of that, my business never made money up until 2021 when I started really posting on social media and TikTok. My business tanked. It never actually made any money in the past. It just kept being reinserted back into the business to buy more fabric, to make more diapers, to sell more diapers, to buy more fabric. The cycle never quit, and there was never any profit. As a female business founder from scratch, from the ground up, I couldn't believe that I could actually write myself a paycheck for the first time, that I could pay employees, that I could pay the household bills. Although I didn't do this by myself, my husband supported me the entire way. My husband's family supported me. They even invested in helping me grow as far as when I needed a little bit of financial help. They invested in me. My husband invested in our business. And because of them, I was able to keep going. And if I didn't have that support, I probably wouldn't be here today. It makes all the difference in the world to have your partner's support in your dreams and a business goal that you have. When you don't have their support, it makes it really impossible to just even get up and keep going. So I have always been super grateful that I've had that, and I've never had to worry about, even when I would make zero money one month, I still had my husband's support. I never had to worry about him being disappointed in me. No matter what, I could just have the worst month ever, and he would say, keep going, you're going to get this. And that is what kept me going. Fast forward another year, and here I am in my 2,500 square foot studio warehouse, and we are a 7-figure business today. We no longer make and sell cloth pads. They do cost a lot to make, and we kind of evolved and followed the market with that one. We went more towards the cloth pads because that was the higher demand. And now we have a system where we can make thousands of pads a week. We have thousands of pad orders every month. I've grown all of my social media accounts organically with just my creative videos, my educational videos, and just teaching others about reusable period products that are zero waste. It hasn't been an easy road, and to this very day, I still get a lot of hate comments. I do get a lot of people who just simply think what I do is childish or disgusting. However, I know that I have saved thousands of women's lives just with my product. Their lives have changed because they finally have something that works great for their period, and they can get through that time of the month easier, better, and it's just a better product all around for so many people. I've created and designed my very own pad patterns and my very own pad types. I have over 10 different types of pads, and they were all designed by me. No, I didn't invent cloth pads. They were already around. I just took them and made them pretty and progressive so that they're not like bleeding on the rag. And now it is a much more sustainable, more fun option for your period. My customers have told me they actually look forward to getting their period because they have these beautiful, pretty period pads that they get to wear during their period. It just kind of gives them a little bit of something to look forward to feel good about, because they actually enjoy their period products. If you watched till the end, let me know in the comments below that you listened to my entire story. I want to know who's still here.